Hey guys, years ago me and some buddies decided that we were going to go on a skate trip out to California, and so we were super excited about it. We planned and kind of like picked out all the spots we were going to go to and do some skating and do some filming, and yeah, we were super pumped to go on this trip. And when we went, it turned out to not be quite as good as we planned, right? And so, I mean, our van, we were driving and the van caught on fire. We got to San Francisco and hey, we showed up at Hubba Hideout, so pumped to skate that spot. And it turns out the city of San Francisco had taken out the landing and put gravel in, so you couldn't skate the spot anymore. And then, first day in LA, there was this bump to bar, where it's like a bank and it goes up and then there's a handrail and you got to go over the handrail. And I was skating that and I ollied over it and came down and my front foot went over the nose of the skateboard and I just ran my ankle over, totally blew up my ankle. So I was designated filmer for the rest of the trip, which kind of sucked. I don't know if you've ever had a day like that. It's just like, it's a dumpster fire, Like you go to school, right, and you fail the test, and then your girlfriend breaks up with you, and then you go home and your parents are nagging you about like getting a job and cleaning your room, and everything just sucks. Like, it's just terrible. That's kind of how it was for the nation of Israel, right? We've been talking about that a little bit, and the nation of Israel is facing war, and they're facing annihilation, and they're afraid every single day, and they're living in like this darkness and this doom and this gloom. And then this prophet named Isaiah comes along and he shares a vision of hope. So in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 1 through 7 is kind of where we're at in Bible study today. Isaiah 9, 1 through 7. And it starts talking about this doom and this gloom and this darkness that Israel's living in. And then it goes on and it says that the people, they see a great light. And suddenly there's this change that happens. And they're experiencing all this joy and they're breaking free from all the yoke that was like holding them back and tying them down. And they're winning the war, and they're actually like burning all of their battle gear that's stained in blood because they're finally like free from it all, right? And they're finally at peace, like a nation that is at peace. And in verse 5, it tells us why this change comes about. The reason for this hope that he is prophesying about in the midst of all of the difficulty they're experiencing, the reason for this hope is a child is born, a son, a king. And it's a king who will come in and reign with justice and righteousness and peace forever and ever. And it says he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Almighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. This promised king brought so much hope, so much to look forward to, so much joy, right? And I want you to imagine how good this news must have been to Israel. They're living in this darkness, in this doom and gloom. They're living in fear every single day that they're going to die and that their whole country and their family and everybody's going to be wiped out, right? But then God speaks through Isaiah and he gives them this hope, this promise of an eternal king, a good king that's going to come and reign and rule and bring them peace and justice. I don't know if you've ever been battling to get a trick and it's like you're wrestling with it, you're struggling, it's like nothing's going right, like you can't get into it, you can't lock into it, it's just nothing's working. And you try and you try and you try and you're just getting worn out and tired and depressed and bummed and then you try like, I'll give it one more shot, right? And you go for it and all of a sudden you lock into it. That's like a little glimmer, a little glimpse of hope, right? And you get excited and enthusiastic and energized and you're like, I got 100 more tries, like I'm gonna get it now. There's this hope that comes into your life. Isaiah wants us to know that no matter the chaos, no matter the darkness, the brokenness, the depression, whatever it is you're facing, Isaiah wants you to know that God has provided hope for you. God has provided a wonderful counselor, a mighty God, an everlasting Father, a Prince of Peace. He has provided an eternal King who brings endless peace and justice to your life. He has provided a child, and the government is on his shoulders. And I'm trusting in him. My challenge to you is this: will you trust in the one that God has promised?